again. So yesterday was a bit of a grey day, a drizzly day. Today, look out the window. That is a beautiful day out there. A few clouds in the sky, but a nice fresh day. So it was great when I drove up this morning and got out of the car and opened the gate. The smell of fresh cut grass was really nice to greet me. But what I'm going to do first off is have a look at the FS450. Towards the end of yesterday, basically, nothing happened. Basically, nothing was happening with the trigger. So the control on the inside, that was working to turn it off. So I'm just going to take this apart and see. I'm assuming one of the little mechanisms inside has just come loose or it's gone unbroken. Certainly had a lot of use this brush cutter. Remember on one of my previous videos I showed this one where I got this as an absolute buy. It had it was up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I got it for cheap as chips, thinking I was buying it for spares. Got it home, played around with it a little bit, and then got it working. And I spent a little bit of money getting a new coil for it. What else do I get for this? Yeah, can't remember now. Quite a little complex mechanism inside. Strange. Well, looking at this, the mechanism is still working, but it looks like maybe it's actually the other end of. Yeah, the other end of this. So maybe it's actually in the head unit. What I'll do is I'll just give these springs a little bit quick spray WD-40 just so they operate, because that one's not operating too well right now. As you can see, that's supposed to spring back. Let's get this back together. That is the cable. Right, let's take some of this apart and see if we can find out what's wrong with it. To get the socket set, so I'm going to do a couple of those nuts. Well, it would be the size that I don't have with me right now. Left it attached to one of my drills, so what I'm going to do, I'll take this home with me. I'll use the other brush cutter today. I'll take this home with me and we'll have a crack at fixing this at home instead. It's kind of typical of that. That's one of the downsides of when you're sort of working at one place and living somewhere else. You end up with tools in multiple spots. So welcome back. I think where I left the video last time, I'd started to strip this down and I needed some different tools. So I said I'd take it home, have a crack at it there and fix it and bring it back. So I took it home, had a crack at it, didn't quite fix it. Back here at the land again today, I've brought the tools with me, so I couldn't get it finished at home. I'll continue with this and see what I can do. So what I was able to do, and I'll just show you in here. Obviously stripping off all of the cover. I think it was this socket that I didn't have last time. I'll grab you and see if I can show you this a little bit better. So what had happened last time is this throttle cable, obviously connected through to the handle. So that throttle cable had actually disconnected from this lever. Now when that lever pulls through, when you pull the throttle on the handle, it pulls that around, and then as you can see there, that opens and closes the throttle on the carby. So this had actually come out. It was just hanging loose. It was in this space here. So look, I put that back in, did a bit of a clean up in this area, reconnected this. But the issue I'm having now, which is an earth, as you can see from the symbol there, sorry. But the issue I'm having now is once I get it started, I can't actually stop it. The kill switch doesn't work. So the only thing I seemed to touch was this. Taken it apart, cleaned all the terminals, cleaned the head of the bolt there, and tightened it all back up. So I'm getting a good earth. I've been testing that, and I do have a good earth. So the only alternative is within the handle, because I did take the handle apart to actually get this fixed. So let's take that handle apart again. And I'll show you what's in there. It's a beautiful day here, 27 degrees I think it's going to be today, which is gorgeous. Good sign that summer's on its way. You won't be able to hear it on the video, I don't think, but all I can hear is the frogs croaking in the background in the dam off in the distance. I'll prise these apart. So what had happened here is when I took this apart, this somehow had actually gone up inside of there, which meant that when I was squeezing this, which had created slack in this cable, it had obviously jumped out of the little holder there, and then I got to the point where once it had jumped out of that holder, I was getting no movement whatsoever. So as it is there, that would accelerate, but it wouldn't accelerate to full speed because I've got slack in the cable. I'll put this back in its normal position. When it's there, you'll get acceleration but not full throttle. When it's here, you get full acceleration and full throttle. So the thing here is that fits inside the handle. Now I believe that when you throw the switch over to the stop position, you're creating an electrical circuit. So I believe the electrical circuit is through here because this wire obviously runs through. It runs through, connects to the throttle lever, and then goes through to an earth. So I'm assuming that as you throw the lever and you get movement in here, you've got a spring there which actually contacts onto this. That is all the way down onto here. That spring goes all the way down there and then is part of this mechanism here. So the strange thing is I can get this going. I've got an electrical circuit all the way through the whole time whether I throw that switch or not, which is very, very strange because then the electrical circuit doesn't operate as a kill switch. So I'm spending a little bit of time just now. I'm going to ponder and see if I can come up with or try and work out what the actual issue is. This throttle cable, which is connected to the earth as I just said, that runs up through here, that's actually connected to a spring which runs behind this orange piece, coils around, connects onto this spring, and then that spring comes to here. So as it stands right now, that's a complete circuit back through here once that's touching the aluminium handle. So that is a complete circuit. When you push the lever over, you make contact with this, which is, like I just said, is in contact with this wire and is connected through to this one. That spring goes down and around and connects here. So it actually runs through that small gap and then comes here. I'm wondering two things. One, we test this without this touching the earth on the handle and see if the kill switch works. Then the second option is whether this spring is supposed to be touching this cable, and then it actually creates an earth via this cable. Okay, a short looping in and around. I don't know, I'm struggling with this, I've got to say, to work out what the heck's happening. It should be very simple, but I seem to be struggling with it. Let's give it a couple of tests, 2 different ways, and see what happens. Okay, so we've got this outside now, just in case it gets out of control, and I don't want to hit in the concrete floor or anything, causing damage. Obviously you should do this with the air filter on. I'm literally going to get this started and then bring it to a stop if I can. Got choke on, so that's in, I'll put that in the start position. Not connected through to the handle, so the earth shouldn't be operating. See if we can get this started. Put a bit of choke on to kill it there. So I am going to take this apart now. So obviously that didn't work, not having this earth through the handle, so that doesn't make a difference. I'll take this apart again now and have another look at something. So let's try a couple of other things. What I'm suspecting right now is that it's this actual outer sheath here that connects onto this and earths the circuit. So let's give that a try. Let's get this thing started. Right, let's get that back into the workshop and get that fixed. Before I jump into the fix here, I thought it'd be just worth a quick recap. So what I have is the throttle cable is stretched. So to take up the slack in the throttle cable, I've pulled the outer sheath outside of the throttle housing. By doing that, I actually then break a connection for the kill switch. So what I'm about to do now is show you how I'll resolve that issue. So we've got a little bit of a MacGyver fix going on here. So the idea being, when that's in there, I'm going to wrap copper connecting onto here and then making a connection to this part of the spring, and then I've added a few lengths of basically the insulation from a length of wire, and obviously that's copper wire. Added a few lengths of that just so that I make sure that this copper never touches this wire, otherwise this thing won't be starting in the future. So let me finish this, get it tidied up, get it put back together, and then we'll give this a test. Okay, so it's It's not pretty, but I think it's going to work. So I've got the copper wire wrapped around, as you can see, making contact with that end of the spring. Bit of tape there just holding the copper wire onto the exposed, it's like an armor guard steel liner. So I'm assuming here then that what's going to happen when I click, hopefully you can see that, when I click the lever to off, there'll be current coming in through here, and it'll go around this spring and it'll connect in, and let's get the thing, there'll be current flowing down here onto this sheath, and current flowing through a spring that sits behind here down to this, current flowing through the cable, current flowing through the current flowing through the outer sheath, go back to the earth points, or create an earth onto the engine. So the other end of this must be earth back through to the engine block at some point. So let's reassemble, give it a quick test. Fingers crossed it's worked. I think it will now. However, I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but we shall see. And putting this back together is simply a case of that spring goes inside there. Obviously that spring is creating a circuit inside of this handle too. That goes through, and there's a captive nut on this side, so it just tightens up easily. This test I'll just put one screw in the top. Right, let's see that side and test it. Actually I can test it in here because the end of that is in space. Perfect. Bring it back. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Right, let's get this thing put back together, and then let's go cut some grass. Plug boot back on. Put it into start. Give it another test. Make sure it's all working. Perfect. Right, I'm going to go get changed, and then we're going to get to work. that's the FS450 fixed. The kill switch and the throttle cable all sorted now. You can see this brush cutter head certainly does some damage to this thick stuff. I'm going to crack on now and get brush cutting into the rest of the garden. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this is going to be useful to you in the future.